Welcome back. So now we're going to be working on the About Us page. So this is this one here. So as you can see, these red ones are the elements that I want to put in the About Us page or make sure they're there. Of course, I'm going to take a little bit of something from the template because, hey, it might have some good suggestions there. But the key elements I want to be is, how we came to be blurb, who we are. So list out our names and pictures maybe, and some social media links there that I want to put. So that's what we want to do on the About Us page, and so that's what we're going to do now, and we're going to make sure those elements are there. All right, now let's make sure that you're on your website, your front end here, and you're logged in, ready to edit the page. So we're going to scroll all the way down to where we have the About Us link. So down here is the About Us link, and I'm just going to click on that. It should bring me to the About Us page. Okay, and we're going to be updating this page to match what we were just talking about. So let's get into the visual editor mode. So that's what we're going to do next here. Okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind is I don't have the ability in this view to edit this banner up here. So we're also going to have to be changing those as well. So I'm going to be taking, after we're finished this About Us page, we're going to be taking a short but nice deviation from this, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about images and how to edit them and get them working. Another thing what I'm going to be doing too is I'm going to be updating my logo because we're going to make it into a fishing. So this is going to be a site all about fishing, tackle, and supplies. So we're going to do that, and that's how it's going to be on this one. So let's, without further ado, let's update these. So just looking at the elements, how we came to be blurb, that's what I'm going to put here. So what would be good is, hey, let's have we could here have maybe a picture of, if you have a team of people, or maybe your husband and wife team, something like that. Maybe you want to put your picture here, bring it a little bit more closer to home for people, or maybe it's just a something that sort of indicates who you are or what you are for an image here. And then over here we're going to put the blurb. So I'm going to take care of that now. Since it's already kind of nicely set up for us anyways. And when we go down, because I can see here there's some elements that does not exist for the who we are part and some of the social networking links. So we're actually going to be adding new elements to this, which we haven't done. I don't believe we've done in the past yet. So let's get started. So I'm going to click on this and let's update this. So the text at the top here, this more bigger text up here, which is the custom heading. I think, let me just make sure I've got that. Oh yeah, we're going to make sure that's highlighted. So in this one, there's actually two elements. There's a text block element and a heading element in this column. And in this column, there is just this, looks like a text block. So they have this, what looks like an image and some text down here. So I'm going to change this heading to how we came to be. Okay. And so there we go. I'm going to close that. So there we go, how we came to be. And I'm going to put some text in here. So I'll just pause the video and write some text. Okay, so I just wrote a quick blurb in here. Now this is the good thing about doing the website yourself. You can write what you want, and you don't have to wait for somebody to ask you, or maybe write something that really isn't you in there. Usually when you get a website done, the developer doesn't really spend too much time on copy. Really, that's not their thing. So they're gonna put something basic in there, or something that's not as you, or they're gonna ask the question and you're gonna be providing copy. So here you're in it, you're already there, and you're doing it yourself. So that's a good thing about it. So I put in a little bit of blurb here, and I'm gonna save that and close it. And over here we're gonna put a picture of maybe something that indicates around what I've discussed here. There's going to be another element about who we are, and that's just going to have maybe some pictures, listing out some pictures of I'm just going to put some random myself and a couple random people as an example. that you can have some faces on this. So let's click on this text block here and update this one. So looks like they have they've already got something set when they put this X here in bold that it's going to be red. So that's they've somehow set that. So one thing I can do, by the way, is I know that you don't have to do any coding or any HTML, but I can click on this text, and you might have seen me doing this before to see I can actually edit some stuff in here and using HTML. So if you do know HTML, you can go into this text section and manually put it in, or you can just use the visual editor that we have already built in here. So instead of using this text field, I want to put an image in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this out because I'm not putting any text here. I'm actually going to delete this block. Okay. And what that's going to do is it's going to leave me some empty space here with nothing. I'm going to click this little plus sign, and it's going to allow me to add a new element in here. So I'm going to search for the element that allows me to add an image. So here we go. We have a single image. So I'm going to click on that. All right. And I can go and I can look, I can see, where can I find that in my media library? So let's take a look at our media library. Maybe there's something in here that we want to add that has something to do with fishing. So, you know, I had this one in the front. So let's say this is the one. I'm going to find a new one to put in here just to kind of make it, mix it up a little bit. So I'm just dragging this over here. Okay. And this is the one I'm going to put in there. So just keep in mind, this is just some stuff that I'm finding, but normally you would want to source these pictures from proper stock photo areas, or if you have pictures yourself, obviously you own the rights to that. We will be talking about that in future videos. Okay, and so we can go down here and see if we have anything else that we want to make sure that we're doing. If you want to have any styles, or if you wanted rounded corners. If you notice this website, this template has very square edges. So I want to maintain that. I want to maintain the square edges on these blocks. So I don't want my image to have any rounded things. It's also if you notice, it doesn't have shadows. That's another element that can happen here where you see on websites where you'll have shadows and stuff. So I don't want to have shadows or anything like that. I just want them square. So we're just going to leave it default. Okay. And let's just see how this looks. Okay. And I might have to adjust the size. So as you can see, it's kind of cutting off here. Looks like it's cutting off. So we need to figure out what's going on here. The image itself is actually quite long. So I just want to see and make sure that I've got no other constraints happening here. So image size says thumbnail. So I would say probably full, right? If you can see, enter image size here. You can also do constraining it like this, but let's see what happens when I do that. So there we go. And now we can move on down here. So if you're happy with this and you want to move on, add some more elements, we can go below. Now we're not selling any services, we're selling a product in this case. So obviously if you had services that you were selling on a website, then you obviously would want to leave something like that, or maybe have this in a special page around services. So I'm actually going to be deleting this whole block of services right out of here, because this is not an element that I want to have in here. Okay, and so let's just delete all this. Okay, these are rows that I want to delete. Now it's kind of making this one come up. Again, these are things that I don't want to have as part of it. So maybe I can just delete this whole row. That'll get rid of that. Take this row, delete that row. Excellent. Okay. And we're also, I don't plan on having any company partners thing here, although maybe you do. Maybe you have some partners that with other people who are maybe doing similar private labels, or you're doing some sort of partnership. Maybe you want to have that in there. In my case, I'm not. So again, I'm going to be deleting all of this out of here. So I'm just going to delete that, and delete that. And here, this is an image carousel, probably of some gallery. So if you had a gallery of images that you wanted to put, you can do that. I'm not going to, so I'm just going to delete this row as well. So really the only element we used in this page was the first one, but I want to do the pictures of us. So maybe we can set up some elements there. So what I would do now is, the only thing I have is this little plus sign here. So this gives us an option of stuff that we can use right from this particular thing here. So this showing all. And so I'm going to see what the best one would be for displaying pictures, some people pictures. So the way I'm going to do that is actually to create a row. So we're going to create a row in here. Okay, and so that adds this row. And now inside of this row, I'm actually going to set it to be a certain amount of columns. So I want, let's say we have 3 pictures we want to do, and you can see how the columns look here. If you want something bigger here and smaller there, you can see the different column sizes. Okay, I'm going to pick this one because I'm going to say, well, maybe we'll have, I'm going to have 3 pictures here. Okay, so I'm just going to update that. And okay, there it is there. So I can close it. And now I have 3 columns here. Now in here, I can now add new elements. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 elements, or sorry, an image onto each one of these. Okay, and so the first one is, of course, the image of myself. So I can just say there, and okay. And let's see if we have a title here. There, the CEO. Okay, oop, forgot to save that. I typed it and didn't save it. Now let's see how it looks, because I might want to do another element in here. Okay, and for some reason, okay, so, and I don't really like how it shows here with the title. So I'm actually I can delete that one. Okay, and I'm gonna try it again. And this time I'm gonna put a single image in. So I'm gonna find from the media library, that's my source. Okay, I'm gonna put that image in there. Okay, and I'm gonna save that. So there it is. Okay, now it says thumbnail size, right? So what if I wanted it a little bit bigger? I could put medium and see how that looks. Okay, so that might be a good size, right? And then I can go close. And then on top of this, I can add another item by clicking. Maybe I can append to this column by clicking this little plus sign down here. And I can put in a heading. So let me just find the heading one. Okay, and if I can't find it for whatever reason, I can just go type in heading, and here it is. Okay, so I can just put that in. And the font and stuff is a lot nicer, and I can also go look to see what I have, what other text I have in other places to make sure the font matches. So we're going to do that too. So I'm going to say Corey, and as an example here, okay, and we're going to have that as an H3 maybe, so it's a little bit smaller, so H1 is bigger, and then each of these is lower respectively. And we're going to center that text. Okay, and of course I can have different items in here that I want. Now this is Abrel flat face. I just want to make sure it's the right one that I want to use, which I don't think it is. See, we have one up here. So let's find out what that is exactly. So we go down, and it should give me, so the text color being a black there. Now the font family is Lato. You can change this, by the way. If you don't want to use this font, you can find, there's a whole bunch of fonts, and in a previous video, we're showing you how you can look up those fonts using the Google font. So, okay, now it's so Lato, and the style is 900 bold regular. So let's just go change that. So I can just edit it and go Lato. Where are you? Oh, text color was black. Whoops. Okay. And it was Lato. Okay. 900 bold regular. Save changes. Close. Okay, so now that title matches the one that's up here, except this is a little bit bigger. I might have, they might have, oh no, they chose H3 as well. So there we go, that should match. Now I could always put another picture in here. Okay, and so we can say single image. So if you have 3 different images, you can put those in there. Now I don't have an image of somebody else, so you know I can put this guy's face in there just as an example. Okay, and we're gonna say medium. Let's see how that looks, because I don't know what so it's pretty small. Obviously you want to make sure all 3 of your images are the same size. In this case it's not. So let's see what happens when I click large. Didn't really change too much. And if I say full, okay, it's not there. So basically what I'd want to do is edit the sizes of this image to make sure it matches this one. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so we just made it a little bit bigger using our software. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in here. Okay. There we go. So we're just going to set that image in there. And we're going to make sure that the size is medium, how it has on the other one. Okay, and we're just going to save it, and hopefully it'll be the same size. Okay, so there we go. Now, obviously, I'm not using a very good picture, so it's actually quite artifacty, but we're just doing this for a demonstration. Yeah, okay, and now I want to close that. And what I could do over here, where I've already spent the time doing this heading, is actually duplicate it. So if I click that duplicate button, which is this one, I can click and drag this over, and it should go underneath here. You see how it's hatched there. So now I can edit this and say, we'll give him a name John or something. Say John, and we'll say sales or something. And right, we're gonna close that, and we'll add another picture here. Okay, and we'll just add that now. So what I could do is I'm gonna actually duplicate this image as well. So that gives me the same element. I don't need to go find it again, and I can drag it in here. Okay, and I can also change the picture to the one I'm going to use. There we go. So I'll just drag that in there. So we'll put this person in here. It's the same size as the other one. Okay, and we're going to save those changes, close. All right, and we're going to duplicate this one and drag it underneath here. Okay, and we're going to give her a name. Call her Jane. So maybe she's a product designer. So there we go. So that's it. So here's the 3 pictures that we want to have, how we came to be. This is who we are. Now let's say you want to put something in between here. It says who we are in a nice big bold text. So let's do this custom heading again. Okay, so you saw how, whoops, close. Yeah, so this is a new row that I'd created to do that. Okay, I'm going to take this row and I'm going to drag it above their names. There it is. Now that it's up here, okay, we want to make sure. So let's try and make this element centered. Okay, we're going to text align center, save it, just make sure it does center. There it is. Okay, now the font and so the color we were using black. Now you could also use your other main text color that you had selected as being maybe it's just slightly darker, like dark gray or something like that. So we were going to do that. I think it was, what was it again? It was something like Lato. Okay, and now this one, we're going to use, we'll use the bold regular. Okay, and maybe you want to animate this in. So let's fade in a little bit here, and obviously we want to make it black. I don't know why that didn't save before, and I didn't save it straight black. That's okay. And now what we can do is, right now it's H2. I'm going to save the changes and see what it looks like and how big it is. For some reason it disappeared. Why did it disappear? Okay, so I guess we'll have to type this in maybe. So we're going to put in who we are. Okay. And let's see. Okay, so for some reason, and this is where you got to kind of look to see, well, why is it doing this? So we have our text color. Did we make it transparent? Maybe it's because I have this animation on it. So if you don't know, we can always save it. We can close it. Okay, and we can click this update here and see what happens. So we'll wait for this little drop down to come down and say it's updated. And I can hit this X button and see if it works for us. So there you go. It did come up there. It was there. So who we are, and then it has the people, and that's it, right? So let's squeeze it in. And so now you can see how it's all nice and together here. And that's perfect. So this is the About Us page. Now, we're going to edit this up here by adding a new banner. So I'm going to go and find something I want to have as a banner in here. And we're going to play with that. And then after, on the next video, we're going to talk a little bit about resizing images and what sort of software we can do for that. But before that, we want to actually add one more element down here, and that was the social media like buttons. So let's do that. Let's click Edit with Visual Composer. Okay, and then down here, we're adding another element. Now what you can do is you can add a little bit of a separator. So if you want to add some space, you can do that. So so you can add some empty space, and all that does is it just separates a little bit of this. You can see how high it is, 32 pixels, and that's fine. Okay, it's just a little bit of empty space under here so that your other elements aren't crowding each other. Okay, and then now we're going to look for social media ones. So again, what you could do is go up here and type in social, and then it will come up with the social media links here and see what it comes up. So now I can put the Facebook link in here, so I can, whatever that is to the to that. Or if you want to, like, you can put to the Facebook page, and whatever your Facebook page is. Whatever your Twitter page is, etc. So let's see what that looks like. So there they are. They're right here. You can see those. They're quite small. I don't know if there's a way to make that bigger. Maybe we can see size. Let's see large. You can use colorful icons, and you can change the background color. So let's see what happens when we do that. So now they're a little bit bigger. So you can have that, maybe have them a little bit more prevalent up top. Maybe instead of it here, you can have it maybe underneath here, right? Or have it underneath your text here, how we came to be, and you can click on our social media, and maybe we want to put on here. Okay, and you can say, check us out on social media. Okay, so there it is, and maybe we wanted to do something with that text, like bold it and maybe center it. Okay, let's save that and see how it looks. There it is. Check us out on social media, and there's the social media that we have right there. So we are done the About Us page. Like I said before, though, let's do this, and we'll move on.